Hello and welcome to the Kessel Rundown podcast. My name is Hunter,
I'm Ethan.
and today we're talking about the first two episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I am over the moon about this. What about you?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it at all. We're just gonna kind of let it fly on the podcast. So let's do it.
Yeah, we aren't going to have like a breakdown of the episodes right now, at least, but we just wanted to talk about our favorite moments, just moments that happened during the episode, speculation and everything. I guess we could open it up with the flashback scene at the very beginning of episode one. Wow.
You're talking about the prequel recap thing that we got, or the immediate first scene in the temple?
The immediate first scene, but that prequel recap was amazing as well.
I thought the opening scene, like we said last time, we kind of wanted it to start out not on Tatooine,
Hmm.
um, and so that was refreshing to have it open on Coruscant at the temple, and it was terrifying, but also really cool. And then the Emperor's voice, like over the Execute Order 66, like over the whole thing
Yeah,
was
and as soon
incredible.
as I saw the little younglings, I got scared for a quick second. I thought, "Oh God, are they
Yeah,
going to show it?" And then,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, they kind of showed it, but those were the
yeah.
first live action clones that we've seen. It was confirmed that the clones in the Book of Boba Fett weren't like they were mostly CG, but these are like full actual like costumes, and they looked
Right,
really
yeah, you could
nice.
tell they look sharp. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Then the fight through the Jedi Temple, and then the kids just running off, and an amazing start. I can only guess that one of them is Riva. I apologize for saying her name wrong in the past episodes, but her name is Riva, not Reva. So yeah, I can only assume that one of them was either Reva or Riva, or one of them was that one Jedi. His name is Nari, the one that was hung up in the town square later in the episode.
yeah, the stupid one that clearly was
Yeah.
really bad at acting.
Yeah, his the guy who plays him, Benny Safdie, he was one of the directors for Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah, one of the Safdie brothers. Yeah,
Yeah, the whatever her like her muse, that meme that's going around or that was going around.
yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not as tuned into that, but
anyway, fell flat. But what didn't fall flat was Obi-Wan in this episode. He looked handsome, dude. Cutting up that meat, that pan up. He's just storing like meat in his little apron, and then boom, Obi-Wan, long hair, and you could tell that
yeah,
he's not himself. Even as that one older gentleman was arguing with the boss about his wages being cut, kind of like how Ray was arguing with Unkar Plot and The Force Awakens, and Obi-Wan didn't do anything. He didn't do the Jedi thing. He kept to himself, and
right.
it was really cool. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
kind of the central theme of these first two
Hmm.
episodes is Obi-Wan gonna get involved, or is he gonna stay hidden?
Exactly. He's
Um,
too afraid of his past, and we see his past in those nightmare flashbacks. I love the cuts
y-
between the fight on Mustafar, and then it's young Anakin and his pod racer. Then it cuts straight to Padme dying, and then it cuts back to Anakin and his pod racer. He's kind of it's his mind is all over the place. He doesn't know what is real, and he's just like losing his mind.
yeah, no, I don't think he's getting it mixed up. I think it was more like Anakin like showing his aggression at the beginning, and
Hmm.
Obi-Wan like interpreting that as like signs of evil when it was really just like a little kid like showing off.
That's true. That's true. So,
But
what else did you like from this episode?
Leia, little
Yeah.
Leia was so cute. She was the star of the show. They casted her perfectly. Like that's exactly how I thought Leia would act,
Hmm.
as a little kid. And she was so like just like innocent, and like her teeth were all messed up, and just like she
Hmm.
wasn't this like perfect looking child. And she was like mischievous, and I don't know. That's kind of Leia was kind of an independent woman, and that's kind
That's
of how
true.
I would imagine her as a kid. So I
Um,
thought they did a perfect job with that, and Alderaan looked great.
yeah, I did. People are actually upset about Leia's acting, saying she's too annoying,
Why?
and she's because people don't get Star Wars. They,
Oh, that she's like an obtrusive kid. That she's like,
yeah,
hey,
but like, have you
like,
met a 10-year-old before?
right?
Like,
They
they're
ask a
just
lot of
like that.
questions.
People are really upset about her acting, and they're also upset about Riva. And I think Riva is one of the best characters that I've seen in this new Star Wars. She's so menacing. She's a lot. more, I guess to use the same word again, menacing than I thought she was going to be. Like when she cut off that woman's hand on Tatooine,
Yeah,
just
she
like
just
out of
sliced that
like,
thing off.
yeah,
Yeah,
just doing
just for
it.
fun.
Like
Hmm.
it has me scared of her, and like I'm watching through a TV. Like she's impulsive.
Well,
She's just like Anakin.
right, and you can always we'll get to our nitpicks in episode 2 later, but
Hmm.
the kind of the brute force that the Inquisitors move with is more true to me. Like that's more true to the Empire to me than what you see in the animated shows. Like they
Hmm.
just threaten
Rebels.
that
Yeah,
they're gonna like hurt them, and then they like don't do anything. Like Agent Callus, he never does anything.
yeah,
Um, but we see the Inquisitors like really being willing to get down in the dirt to do their
hmm,
job, and that's to me that's what the Empire is a little bit more brutal, than we've seen before, and I think that's realistic. Man,
yeah. It's a dark
she's
show.
just obsessed with finding Kenobi apparently, and I think that's a really cool wrinkle. Having Riva have this fixation, and all the Inquisitors think Obi-Wan is dead, but she for some reason doesn't believe that, and she wants the glory and the power of finding, the big fish. So I think it's a
Exactly.
great twist. She's not just like a minor bad guy.
Yeah, she has a goal. She's gonna reach that goal, no matter how many hands she has to cut off, and
Right.
it might be a lot.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah,
might be a lot.
the actor who plays Owen Lars, Joel Edgerton, I believe, he did
Uh-huh.
amazing. Really, he loves Luke so much, just like his own son, and he was willing to die right there by Riva, not give up Luke or not give up Obi-Wan, even though he said he didn't do it for him. I mean, really, he did. Do you believe Obi-Wan would have revealed himself if that little sequence went any further? Because I don't think he would have. Not where he's at right now.
No, I mean, maybe. I feel like if she'd swung the lightsaber, he would have stopped it, maybe, from hitting Owen.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's about it. It seemed like he was paralyzed a little bit.
That's true.
And that was a little off-putting. I was like, whoa, seeing Obi-Wan just kind of
That
frozen,
happened. Yeah, he's the negotiator. He didn't have anything to say. He was just so frozen.
hiding. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the Grand Inquisitor because he looked a lot better than in the trailers, especially in episode 2. He looked really good in episode 2.
I think his eyes look different.
Yeah,
What was he doing with his eyes when he was talking to that shop owner? Was he like making them more yellow? I don't.
well, we know that yellow eyes go hand in hand with the Sith, and if you're a Sith, you have yellow eyes. I mean, in Rebels, he has yellow eyes. I
Okay.
think it's just is he's a Sith, but he didn't have yellow eyes in the trailer, and I think they added that post all that backlash.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's a
He
good
looks
idea
less
because he looks.
human, which is good.
Yeah, and especially in episode 2 when he's confronting Riva on Dayu, he looks really good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he was scary looking. I think the problem in the trailers that people had was that he looked just kind of like a really pale guy with a big head.
yeah, they
And
picked the
now
wrong
he
angle
looks,
for sure.
well, I still wish his head was skinnier, but,
Yeah, a little
it's
bit
whatever.
taller.
And maybe, as we'll talk about in episode 2, maybe he's not even the Grand Inquisitor, from Rebels. Maybe he's a different
True,
Grand Inquisitor.
true,
So
true, true. We'll have to get there. But what else did you like about episode 1?
I liked how Kenobi kind of just gave the other Jedi, Nori, is that his name?
Nari.
Nari. I like how he just kind of gave him the death sentence by like
Yeah,
refusing to help him. Like he just like, I don't know, man, bury your lightsaber, go away. And that was it. And then I literally said it out loud. I was like, he's gonna die. And then
yeah.
then like 5 minutes later, he was dead.
Yeah, it was weird. Obi-Wan was like, bury your lightsaber and go back into town, where everyone's hunting you. I went, okay, and that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I guess I'll do that. And he did that, and he wasn't hung, but he was strung up in the square. I know Disney probably wouldn't do like a full hanging, but I like that. That was pretty cool. It's like I could see like Riva doing that, just like twisting the metal or whatever, the tubes around them, just kind of showing like they could kind of do whatever they want, even though they have no jurisdiction out there.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's interesting. The lady was like, "You have no jurisdiction here," and then she lost a hand. So I guess no one
Yeah.
else is going to complain.
No, I certainly wouldn't. I would stop it all
I
right
mean,
there.
Owen, Riva just goes, "You know something." And like I think she was bluffing. I don't really think. I think she was just
Oh
trying
yeah,
to use him as bait. It's just
it's
funny how
because
that
he was
worked
looking
out.
at her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when we were speaking about Alderaan and Princess
Mhm.
Leia, it It sucks, man, because just knowing that like in 10ish years that planet's gonna be gone,
I know
especially with
that makes New Hope so much more sad.
yeah, and everybody that you see in the background, like they're pretty much gone. Especially
Yeah,
Leia's annoying cousin that doesn't have any
yeah.
manners with droids, and we saw C-3PO in the background. That was really cool.
We did. I
We
didn't
might see
recognize him. I didn't know it was him until I saw a comment on YouTube about it.
yeah, we might see R2. Who knows? But they're together, correct? At this time, they're
Yes,
given to Bail, and then
yes.
yeah.
I was thinking about where they were because Obi-Wan, when he walks up to his little cave, he's got that little droid that pops his head out to tell him if there's anyone
Hmm.
inside. And when I saw that, I was like R2, but then I was like, wait, no, he doesn't
That
have
wouldn't make any
R2.
sense. Yeah.
But it's the same looking like little periscope thing. But then I remembered, oh, I think they're with the Organas. They end up on that ship somehow. Now
With
they
Hampton,
can
yeah.
work around that and figure out, how they ended up there. But were R2 and C-3PO were never in Rebels, right? They were never like part of a different segment of the rebellion.
There was an episode of Rebels. It was like season one where C-3PO and R2D2 were in it. They were in Rogue One. Whenever everybody leaves to go
Yeah.
to Scarif, they're saying like I don't know what they say, but C-3PO has
Yeah,
like
I
a snarky
remember.
comment, and then R2D2 has like some sassy beeps, and that's about it. And they're probably thrown onto the Tantive from there. But we'll see how that goes in the Andor series because, as we were told yesterday, after that awesome trailer, that Andor season 2 will take place over a few years, and the final episodes of season 2 will lead up into Rogue One. So
Yep.
episode 1 is going to
Yep.
set the table, and season 2 is going to just demolish the table. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be
Um,
great.
yeah, I think we'll probably do a separate episode on Andor hype
Hmm.
and including the trailer and everything, and just getting, especially as August 31st gets closer, which they announced the release date, so that's fun. Uh, just
Hmm.
just trying to break down what we think is going to happen and all that. But obviously, the big news this weekend was the Kenobi release, which we haven't mentioned dropped 3 or 4 hours earlier than we expected.
Oh yeah, it took me by surprise. I got off work at like 10:30, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get something to eat. And I went to go to Taco Bell. Taco Bell wasn't open. I was like, okay, there's a huge line at McDonald's. I guess I'll just stick by it because I got nothing else to do for the next 4 hours. And I'm sitting in line, scrolling through Twitter, and I saw that it would be releasing in my time, like in 20 minutes. And I was at the back of the line. I was like, oh crap. And the whole time was inching forward. It was probably the slowest drive-through line I've ever been in my life. And
Yeah.
I got my food around 10:58. I sped home, and like 11:03, I turned the TV on and just like binged for 2 hours. And it was amazing.
Yeah, I was actually really tired. I didn't think I was gonna even make it through the first one because I was like, before I started, I was like kind of dozing off, like while I was taking a shower, and well, I didn't fall asleep in the shower, but you know what I mean. I was really tired, and I actually got McDonald's as well because it's like right by my apartment. I had a late night, so I was coming back and went to McDonald's. And he texted me that, and then I was on the phone till like 11:15. Got off the phone, took a shower, and I was like, I'll just knock out the first one. And I did. I was like, I cannot wait. And I was like, I was no longer tired. As soon as the prequel like flashback happened, I was no longer sleepy. I was like, let's go. So I was up till like
Yeah.
2, just watching like everything I could get my hands on that was out.
Yeah. One of the only things I was out whenever I finished everything was a Star Wars Theory, his little reaction videos.
Uh-huh.
I'll speak more of that later. Did you watch any of that?
I did. I watched his reaction. I think he had some different opinions than we did.
I had some very different opinions, and I would love to speak about that. But no bad blood with Star Wars Theory. But man, he's very reactionary sometimes. He doesn't think of the big picture, in my opinion. Not to speak bad about him,
Yeah.
but we'll get on
Yeah,
to it.
I think there's some, there's some things that happened in episode 2 that we'll get to in a minute that were a little
Hmm.
bit questionable, but just to wrap up episode 1, like, what did you think about the Leia kidnapping plot and just the idea that would draw Obi-Wan out of hiding, and that would get him to leave his hermit cave?
Well, it makes sense. First off, Flea, he was the main bad guy, the kidnapper.
Yeah,
We got
yeah,
Flea in the first episode. I
some
screamed at
some
my
rough
TV when
acting
I
there.
saw him. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it was I was surprised. I didn't. I just was like, "Flee, flee, flee!" when I saw him, and it was
Yeah.
it's like a little chant. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm guessing they might have said this in the episode, but I wasn't paying attention. But since Reva knows everything about Anakin Skywalker turning into Darth Vader, I don't understand how she knew that Obi-Wan would go after Leia. Because if Anakin knew about that, then he would just go after Bail, himself, if he knew where Leia was, correct? So how did Reva
Yeah.
know that kidnapping Leia would bring out Obi-Wan?
She said something about in the second episode about she found a connection between them in the archives.
Okay. I didn't
I
get
don't really
that.
know what that I don't really know what that means. Maybe that Organa and Kenobi were the last two together in the temple with Yoda at the end. Remember when they went back and changed all the stuff? Maybe that
That's
was
true.
recorded somehow and she
Yeah,
found that
weren't they
out.
talking about in episode 1 how Obi-Wan fought with Bail in the Clone Wars? You fought alongside her father in the Clone Wars, and I mean that's what Leia says to to the message to Obi-Wan in A New Hope. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's
No,
probably
and
it.
they were friends. They were
Yeah,
friends. Like so,
they were. Yeah, they were close friends.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense now. That's a plot hole that got covered up for me just now. But yeah, is anything else happen in episode 1 other than him digging up the lightsabers and him bargaining with that Jawa who was awesome?
That was so fun. Tika, yeah.
Tika, yeah.
No, I think it bled into episode 2 really well. He gets on the ship, and then it's like roll credits, and then it took me about 12 seconds to click over to episode 2, and then I was right back in my chair.
That's good. You want to
So,
talk about what worked for us in episode 2 before we talk about what didn't work for us in episode 2?
yeah, I think the whole this is gonna be a little bit meta, but you know me. The whole idea that it's funny that Flea is the one that says it, but he's pinning him up against the wall, and he's like, "You're not a Jedi anymore. You're just a man." That's got to be something that Kenobi is battling with. He's got to live his life every day as this hermit in the desert, knowing that he's not special anymore. He has abilities, but he hasn't used them in a decade, right?
Yeah, it took him so long just to catch Leia when she was falling. He really
Right,
had to dig
right.
for that, and that he hasn't used the Force in 10 years. That's insane.
I feel like he's probably battling with that idea that he's no longer a Jedi, that he is no one, that he doesn't matter, and out of necessity he's had to go into hiding. So that's helped him survive, but he doesn't have the fighting skills he used to. It doesn't seem like. I'm sure that'll come with time, but yeah, like he punched that one guy and then he just immediately held his hand. It's kind of funny because
Yeah,
he's getting old, and
even Leia calls him old later on in the episodes.
that was a great scene. You seem kind of old and grumpy.
Aren't you a little too old to be a Jedi? Like, are you too
Yeah.
short to be a stormtrooper? I'm on the fence about Kumail Nanjiani's character. What was his name?
Yeah.
Haja.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
liked his humor, but I feel like Kumail plays the same character in every show that he's in. He's the comic relief,
Yeah.
and I was kind of hoping for something different, but I shouldn't have because it's him, and he's gonna make me laugh no matter what. And he was really good in this episode. I liked how he was a fake Jedi using magnets, and at the end of the
Yeah.
day, he really cared for the Jedi and helped that little girl and her mother, or a little boy and his mother escape, and ultimately helped Obi-Wan escape as well.
I'm not really sure how he helped Kenobi and Leia when he was like, I'll stall for time, and then he just stood in front of her. Like, he should have shot her. I don't know.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had to, he should have shot her in the face.
I was fully expecting that lightsaber just to go straight through him, but I'm surprised it didn't. Reva did a little Kylo Ren invading her mind because it was funny because he was saying, "I am now entering your minds" when he was talking over that transmitter. He's like, "And I'm now leaving your mind," and then he for real got his mind just messed up. He's like, "Oh, that's the real thing. That's crazy." I liked his acting; it was really good, but I just wish that it was a little bit more serious. And
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think he was. I don't know. Just a little.
he was the Jar
A
Jar.
little yeah. He was joking around with the with the Inquisitor that was about to kill him. You know what I mean? It was a little
Yeah.
bit. It was hard to believe, I guess, is the right way to say it.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I fully agree.
yeah,
It was I was like, okay,
it's
what's
like, okay,
this going on?
if Riva was in front of me with that lightsaber, I would not be like, "What's the bounty on me? 2 million?"
Yeah.
I'd be like, excuse me, I gotta go. I gotta go home. Bye. Nice to see you. I'm not in your way. I promise. I don't know.
Yeah, I would
He
have
would
done the
have
same thing.
saved
There's
them
no way.
time. He would have saved them time, made them more safe if he would just shot her in the foot or something, like at the
That's
minimum.
true. But yeah, hopefully we see him again, and after his traumatic experience, he might be a little bit more serious.
Nah, he's okay. He just got slammed up against the wall. It's fine.
Yeah, and his mind got invaded too. He looked really disturbed whenever
Yeah,
he left.
she's a strong Force user.
Yeah.
That's one thing that stood out to me. Like, she could sense a lot more than the other Inquisitors seemed to be able to sense, and they I think they had it out for her
Mhm.
because she was impulsive and rude and wasn't willing to work. Wasn't willing to defer to the leadership, which is fair. I think everyone has that team member, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, stop! You're doing too much." But she also might be the most powerful one besides the Grand Inquisitor, like, of them all. And I mean, she's angry and impulsive, like you said earlier, but she's really powerful.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren's the only person I've ever seen do the pulling the thought out of your mind thing. And,
Mhm.
he was pretty advanced. So
That's
I
true.
don't know.
Even
I'm certainly not as down on her character as a lot of people are. I think she'll be good.
Oh, I completely agree. Whenever we were talking about you said she's very powerful for going in Taj's mind, it brings me back to that one episode of the Clone Wars whenever they were interrogating Cad Bane, and it took four Jedi or so to just get Cad Bane to tell them something. I think it was Mace, Anakin, Ahsoka, and one other Jedi, and they were all like using like a mind trick, and they were struggling against Cad Bane, and Reva kind of just gets into this dude's mind real quick. I mean, he's probably more simple-minded than Cad Bane, but
I think
still,
that's fair. Yeah.
that just shows how powerful she is. I'm so excited to see what she does next. And I know people are hating on her, like you said earlier, but I don't understand why.
I think that some of the show is a little cheesy. It's hard to avoid. I think Leia getting kidnapped, like, that whole chase scene was just so bad.
It was. Like,
with
they couldn't
them, like,
duck
not
underneath the tree
they
branch.
couldn't duck under they couldn't catch her. Like, they were clearly like one step behind her, and then the camera would cut and then cut back, and she was like 10 yards ahead of them. It was like, wait, what? Is she outrunning these people? She's like 9 years old. But I don't know, it just felt a little like it was just cheesy. I don't know. I understand they wanted to give the suspense. I'm glad she didn't get away. If she would have gotten away, it would have been more like unbelievable. But it was okay that they she was gonna get caught anyways, so I don't really care how it happened.
That's
You
true,
got to
but
fill 30 seconds. So
that poor Alderaan guard or Alderanian, whatever you want to call it.
Something like that.
Yeah,
he got murked.
Yeah, I think Walter White, Obi-Wan Kenobi worked really well when he was in that spice den, that drug den, or whatever you call it.
He
liked
got
it.
them all high. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, a little undercover. It was pretty sick.
Yeah.
I like the city. Daiyu was really nice. It reminded me of episode 2 of Attack of the Clones.
Right.
Episode 2 reminded me of episode 2. That's really funny. But no, I like the city. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I like Daiyu, and I like the idea that that's like the Las Vegas, or like the like Monaco or something, like where
It's
rich
like
people
Reno.
go to hide their secrets. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Canto
love
Bight
that. It was
is Las Vegas, but
oh my
Daiyu
goodness.
is Reno.
Canto Bight.
Canto Bight.
I liked the hallway fight scene. Did you like that?
It was pretty cool. Yeah, I liked I liked the sweater that one dude Zabrak was wearing. That was really sick. that black and white sweater. I really wanted. They all were wearing really cool clothes, honestly.
The costumes in Star Wars are just undefeated, man.
Yeah.
Even Leia's little, like, one of the sweetest moments in the whole episode was when he's trying to disguise her and they go to the little shop and she's like looking at all the things.
Yeah.
And he's like, little green cape. And he goes, and the gloves. It was just fun. I don't know. It was like a relief from the stress of the episode.
Yeah, immediately after that, whenever she like back talks to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan asks like, how old are you? It's like, how do you not know how old she is? Like, you watch over her brother, her twin brother, every single day for the past 10 years. You should know
I
how
don't
old
know. I
Leia
think it
is.
was just like, how old are you anyway? Like,
I guess, but still, I was like, come on.
he probably knows
It's,
how old she is down to the day, so that's how long he's been in isolation. It's
yeah,
like
it's like, put some
9
thought into
years,
that.
4 months. And yeah, Kenobi fighting. He'll have to get that back. Like you said, the Force. He doesn't seem like he's too
Hmm.
much in tune with the Force. He keeps
No,
trying to
and he
commune with
was.
Qui-Gon, but
That's
he's not.
true. I didn't talk about it, but in episode one, when Bale comes to his cave and he has that hood on, and of course it was a misdirection. We think that it's going to be some Jedi like Qui-Gon with that hood, but he turns around and it's Bale. So, I mean, I'm fairly certain that in a future episode, Obi-Wan is going to walk into his hut and see a hooded figure, and he's going to be like, "Oh, Bale, like, what are you doing here?" And then the hooded figure will turn around and it's like Qui-Gon or something.
I
I
don't
have a feeling
know.
that's why they did it like that. I hope that's why. Because like if they were just gonna show Bale, he would have walked in and Bale would have been sitting on like a chair or something. But no, they did it deliberately like that to make us like think, oh, it's a Jedi, or like, oh, it's Plo Koon, or oh, it's
Plo Koon, we saw him
yeah,
die.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but it was a cool thing that they were doing with the Mandalorian, where they wrote a screenplay where Plo Koon was coming in to save Grogu instead of Luke Skywalker, so no leaks got leaked, of course.
Huh.
But it'd have been cool. But yeah, I think it was a deliberate misdirection, and we will probably see a hooded figure that's not Bale in the coming episodes. Probably in the last episode, I would think.
I think he's gonna commune with Qui-Gon eventually. I mean, he has to, but a
Definitely.
little confused as to whether Liam Neeson's gonna be involved or not.
Oh God, I hope he is.
Yeah, he's
I
just
hope.
said he doesn't really want to. I don't know. He's been a little confusing in interviews, so maybe it's on purpose. But
Yeah, that's
um,
true.
Obi-Wan, the more he gets in tune with the Force, the more he's going to be able to commune with Qui-Gon because he's not. It doesn't look like he's even been using it for like household things. Like I feel like if I was in isolation, I had the Force, I'd just be levitating stuff in my cave,
Yeah, and
or like Yoda, like keep training, keep communing with the Force while you're in isolation. But
yeah. I mean, you can
um,
think to the last time he used the Force was a Force jump to get the high ground, and you can see how
maybe
that
I don't
ended
know.
up. So
Yeah.
he doesn't want to. That was the last time he used the Force, and it probably scars him. So other things about Episode Two. I liked the bounty puck going out to literally everyone. Everyone had a gun on them. As soon as that bounty was like citywide, everyone just kind of got up from what they were doing, got their gun
Yeah.
out, and was like, "Let's go
Yeah.
find Kenobi." It's like that's a Republican dream right there. It is
And we're not
crazy.
talking about the Galactic Republic.
No, we ain't.
I didn't like how Leia picked up on the entire plot like immediately. How she was like, "They
Hmm.
sent me as bait for you. They're looking for you. Are you wanted? Are you a Jedi?" It's like, oh my gosh, like not even a 10-year-old who's this smart would be able to figure
Yeah.
that out. So
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's Leia Organa, but still,
it's not like it was obvious. Like there was no context clues for that. It was just like she just knew the plot. It was kind of dumb. I didn't
yeah.
like that, but I did enjoy the kind of the hunt through the city. I was stressed, even though I knew both of them were literally going to survive and be fine. I was like, oh no! Like I audibly went, oh no! Like when she ran away from him, and I was stressed out. And that's a mark of a really good show. It can make you care about the characters enough to be stressed out when you know the end result.
And I liked how whenever she was running, he didn't want to like tackle her or like do
Yeah.
anything because people would have been like, drawing attention to him. So it was funny. It was funny. She was running around and he was like, didn't have his hood on as everyone in the city was after him. I was screaming at my TV, like, just to put your hood on or
Put your
something.
hood back on. Right,
Like,
right.
please. It was giving me anxiety, even though I know he lives. Yeah, like he's like, it's a good mark of good writing, good storytelling. One thing that did work for me, and then we'll get to the rest, was at the very end when we have Reva revealing to Obi-Wan that Anakin is alive. He probably has doubts in his mind.
I
What about you?
I didn't
Did
like
you
I
like how it
didn't
was
like
revealed?
no, I didn't like how it was done. I thought it should have been this is what I was hoping for. I was hoping that he would see Vader in some sort of capacity, like from
Hmm.
afar, whether that was on Tatooine or somewhere else, and like recognize his fighting style, or like hear him speak, or see like spy on him and see him in the back to tank and be like, whoa, that's Anakin. Like I was hoping it'd be more intimate, if that makes sense, like more eye to eye where Kenobi's seeing it Instead of like, honestly, Riva, like we just met her and she doesn't have any significance yet, like as far as in the canon. She doesn't have any backstory with either of these characters. She somehow knows way more than she should, which is interesting. I'm wondering if they'll flesh that out or if that's just Disney like conveniently having like a plot explainer. You know what I mean?
Well,
The
yeah, I
show.
think they might flesh it out just a little bit, just because there's so much to say about the character, even in the first episode. Like, we'll probably get to know more about her in the coming weeks.
Right. Like, if she was one of the kids at the beginning of episode 1 and she knew that Anakin was in the temple, she saw him killing people. She knew that, hey, that's Master Skywalker killing my friends.
Yeah.
And then she later, like, saw him with his helmet off or something. I don't know how she would know that that equals Vader. You know what I mean?
Well, Anakin's name was changed to Vader before he was in the suit. So
right.
It might have been like, oh,
she heard
like,
the clones calling him Vader or something.
Exactly. And then her new boss is named Vader. I mean, that's not a very common name. So she might have linked two and two together and it's like, oh, Anakin, Master Anakin, not Master Anakin. My bad.
Master Annie, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
That's probably how she knows. And then we see, of course, Hayden Christensen as the scarred Darth Vader in his Bacta tank. And
he looked yoked.
That looked good. Yeah, he did. That looked good. That looked amazing.
I love that ending. I went, oh, like out. It was like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it that soon. I wasn't expecting it till episode like 3 or 4. Honestly,
I was thinking 4. So yeah, the end of episode 2 was like, episode 3 might be the fight. You know, the first fight that we see.
No,
between them.
I think they did this with other series too, where they have a big reveal. They kind of string you along for an episode, and then they get back to it. So I feel like episode 3 will be unrelated, and then episode 4 and 6 will be my guess for the 2 Vader Kenobi meetings. But I could be wrong. I don't know if they're gonna fight like full on.
I think
there's room in the canon for them to do it.
I think it's gonna be a real big fight.
In New Hope, you know, Vader says, "When I last met you, I was what does he say? I was learner, but now
I'm the master." Something like that.
I was but an apprentice, but now I'm the master. Yeah. So that I don't know if that implies that the last time they fought was like episode 3, you know?
Exactly.
Or does that imply that like now, like he's gonna fight him 10 years before New Hope, and he feels like he hasn't reached his full potential, so he's still learning? Does that make sense?
That's true. Yeah, and during the interview, Hayden was like, "This is still a man coming to terms with who he is." Talking about Darth Vader, still coming to terms, still trying to find out. This Vader is very much fighting Anakin at the same time he's fighting himself, like as other people. So of course he's not the person we see in A New Hope. He's probably going to be more like Reva, probably more impulsive. We see that in the comics as well. He'll kill someone just to kill someone. So, right. I believe he killed Jocasta Nu, the Jedi Temple librarian, just cause, you know.
Well, in the video game, was it Attack of the Clones video game? She was such a hard character to beat. You ever play that game?
Oh, the Revenge of the Sith. Whenever
Revenge of the Sith. Yes, Revenge of the Sith video game on PS2. Oh my gosh, she was like the final boss. It was so hard to beat her.
It was an alternate ending, right? Whenever he kills Palpatine on Mustafar, after he kills Obi-Wan on Mustafar.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. It's been 15 years since I played that game, but
that definitely works. But what about what doesn't work with this episode? I have a feeling I know what you're gonna say.
Well,
I think it does work, but just
what the stabbing of the Grand Inquisitor?
Yes.
I'm okay with it, honestly.
I'm sick.
So let's just play devil's advocate here. The point of view is that Reva. It's like Reba, the singer, but with a V.
A single mom who works 2 jobs.
Reva shouldn't be powerful enough to kill the Grand Inquisitor, right? That's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
She's a made-up character. She doesn't have any basis in canon. Like the fifth brother and the other woman that was there and the Grand Inquisitor, they are all in previous things, sister. Right? So, yeah.
Well, the seventh sister hasn't been, but the fifth has been Inquisitor,
okay.
Of course.
So, and Reva's the third. So she was not in Rebels, whatever. So people were like, oh, she's just a made-up character. Star Wars just being woke, like, she's the worst, like a lot of terrible things being said. My point of view is that I don't think he's dead. I think
Oh
he has a
no.
role to play in this show. And two, if he did die, Disney could easily and authentically be like, hey, the Grand Inquisitor is just a title. That's not his real name,
Hmm.
obviously. So the Grand Inquisitor you see in Rebels is actually his successor, who is just of the same species, and he has a skinnier
Yeah.
face. So
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, it that could happen, but we see people get stabbed in Star Wars all the time. We saw. I mean, the only dude that got died from a stab wound was Qui-Gon. But
right,
I mean,
he he didn't have the
they
mod
have
kids to help him.
exactly. Oh my God, what
Dude, what if
if
the mods, the spinning guy,
Episode three starts with the Great Inquisitor on the ground, then we see the moped bikes pull up.
spiky
Emergency
and bikes?
surgery on the ground. Yeah.
Oh,
No, I think it's the Grand Inquisitor. Reva did what she had to do to prove that she has the balls. I mean, she's the Sith. She's gonna kill her
right.
master. It's just
I
what
loved it.
happens.
I loved it as a moment of like confirmation for her character. As like I'm not willing. I'm willing to do
Yeah.
anything. Right. She's
Yeah.
clearly crazy. Like let's just say it. Like she's clearly
Oh yeah,
a
she's
little bit
insane.
unhinged. And so it's nice to see. The realistic thing would be I'm gonna do what I need to do to achieve what I want. I'm literally a
Yeah.
Sith, or like I'm tapping into the dark side, and so I'm gonna use every capability that I have to get Kenobi, and that made sense to me. So I was not. I went, oh, and I was like, okay, so he's either gonna live or like he's not the real Grand Inquisitor, and it makes her a better character, does it not? Like I think it
Yeah,
does.
and
So
to the people that are
I'm with
saying
it.
like, oh, like this is retconning Rebels, like they're just like they're taking Rebels out or whatever. It's like, no, like you're stupid. I'm sorry, but you are. Because first off, Dave Filoni, the creator of Rebels, that's his baby.
Right, he's not
Is
going to retcon
direct
his own thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's directly involved with the show. And also, why would they retcon Rebels right after Ahsoka was like, "Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn?" and the
Right,
Mandalorian?
right,
It's
right.
like just use your brain for just 1 second, and this is I'll just talk about this. No hate to Star Wars theory at all, but he doesn't let the story finish and before he gives his opinion, and his fans are very impressionable, and they will spread all of that because he's the biggest Star Wars channel on YouTube, and his fans will spread that everywhere. Like, oh, Reva is a bad character because she killed the Grand Inquisitor. That means Rebels isn't canon anymore, and it spirals because what he says, it has weight,
Right.
very
And
reactive, and
when
it's just
in
yeah,
reality, we could wait 5 days. The next episode's going to come out on Wednesday,
yeah,
and
and we'll
we'll
see
see
the mod
the
kits,
Grand Inquisitor with
yeah.
a little tape over his stomach, like Finnick has, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see the mods pull up on their speeder bikes and like
No,
fix them up.
right. What
It's
happened
fine.
to No One's Ever Really Dead? What happened to that?
Exactly. He's
So
very reactive, and he doesn't like Riva, and of course that's gonna sprout hate in what we call the fandom menace. People already
yeah,
hate her, and now that the biggest Star Wars creator on YouTube doesn't like Riva, that's gonna just explode, and it's sad because she's a great character. In our opinion, she's a great character, and the actress is gonna get hate as well, just like Lucasfilm warned her, which is sad. But yeah, that's my little spiel about Star Wars theory. I love his content, but sometimes he can just be unbearable.
right. It's a slippery slope. I guess it can start
Oh
out
yeah.
well meaning when you're like, she's awful, what a terrible character. Like that's just opinion about the writing. A lot of fans will take that and jump straight to like, it's because Star Wars is too woke, or it's because Star Wars is
Yeah.
trying to push diversity on us. And then it becomes this whole big racial thing, which it shouldn't be. It should just be about the character.
Mm-hmm.
Like Riva is I mean, some of the dialogue is cheesy, but like if you go to Rebels, like half the dialogue in that show is cheesy. So the Inquisitors are not known for their like eloquence. Um,
Oh no.
and
Yeah.
this show is a Disney show, so there's going to be some cheesiness. But I think we both are in agreement that the character overall is like pretty well written, and we
Oh
can
yeah.
disagree with that with other fans without being like vile about it. And there's some people that are
Yeah.
just being gross online. So
Yeah. Some of that stuff that that we see is just borderline disgusting. There's no room for hate in Star Wars. Yeah,
But we'll see. I think she's gonna stick around for at least a couple more episodes. What I kind of hope happens, and this isn't because I don't like her character. I think we both do, but I kind of want Vader to like call her bluff a little bit, or like whether that's like he's like, hey, you want to team up with me on this mission to get Kenobi, or he's like kills her or gets rid of her or like tries to kill her or something
well,
because
I
she's a
mean,
threat, right?
yes, she would be the first in command after the Grand Inquisitor, because if you played Jedi Fallen Order, the main antagonist in that video game is the second sister, and spoiler alert, second sister is killed by Vader at the very end. So it goes Grand Inquisitor, second sister, third sister. So
Who's
if the
the
Grand
first
Inquisitor,
sister?
I think that's the Grand Inquisitor, but maybe the Grand Inquisitor is the
Oh,
first sister.
spicy.
Oh, yeah, that'll make people mad. No, I think Reva is the next in command, and Vader might, because Grand Inquisitor, a stab to the stomach is going to put you out for a while. So while he's healing up, Reva might be in charge of the Inquisitorius squad. So that's
Yeah,
gonna
I'm excited to see.
lead the hunt to Kenobi.
Right. Yeah. On that note, do you think we'll see the Fortress Inquisitorius next episode?
I think we might. I think we might see either Alderaan or Tatooine, and then it's going to end on Fortress Inquisitorius. That's my little prediction.
What do you think episode 3's like plot point? Like, do you think I think it's gonna be Obi-Wan trying to infiltrate the fortress, whether that's to like I don't think he's a revenge kind of person at this point. He doesn't have the power to do that. But trying to maybe get information or track their ship to find out if she's lying about Vader. Maybe he's so curious about Vader he can't help himself, and he follows them to the fortress.
Well, of course we have to get Leia out of the way first, so we're probably going to get Bail. And he's going to need information. He doesn't know anything about these Inquisitors because he's been hiding. He doesn't know anything about Vader. So right. I believe that maybe in episode 3 we might see Cal Kestis, who is the main character in Jedi Fallen Order, and because in the video game, you go to the Fortress Inquisitorius. So I believe that he'll get that info from Cal or someone, because now he's more open to Jedi. He's not going to tell Cal to walk in the middle of the desert and hide your lightsabers. And actually, speaking of Cal Kestis, just a minute ago, I don't know how I've been like calm about this, but just a minute ago, this trailer for Star Wars Jedi Survivor came out. So, yeah, not to wrap this podcast up real quick, but I really want to watch it. But yeah, I think that he might find Cal, and Cal will tell him where the fortress is, which is actually on a moon that is next to Mustafar. It's one of Mustafar's moons, Nur.
Oh man, so, if we get to go back to that area.
Vader keeps him close. He keeps his Inquisitors
castle
close. He wants to have his eyes on him. Oh, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, that's what I believe. So then, of course, he'll go to the fortress.
The fortress is on the moon of Mustafar, is that what you said?
Yes, so it's on Nur, which is a water moon, which is the moon of Mustafar. One of them.
Okay.
It's really, really close. It's really cool. A moon being a water planet next to a lava planet. Good contrast. Something that George would definitely put in his original trilogy. It's just a George thing to do.
Well, I'm excited to see what episode 3 has in store. There was one more thing I forgot to ask your opinion on. So when he's walking with Leia, this is a little disputed I've seen online. When he's walking with Leia in the cargo hold, he says something about like, I knew a woman that was like you.
About Padme?
And is he talking about Padme or is he talking about Satine? That's what I thought it was Satine.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of Satine.
Like, there's a sadness in his voice that is unique. And I don't know if he's talking about, like, hey, I'm talking about your mom, or is he talking about, like, Satine?
Well, just because Leia's there, I think he's talking about Padme, but if it was any other character, it might have been Satine. I think they just wanted that connection between the two characters with Padme. But yeah, I can definitely see him talking about Satine in that. I didn't even think of that. That's crazy. Wow.
I don't know. I really was expecting to see Satine in the what do you call it, in the flashbacks that he had in the cave the second time, like his dream.
No, well, we got 4 episodes.
Yeah, I know. I
believe we'll
just
see
really
her.
want to see like a live action Satine and see like maybe like a 45-second flashback to their relationship. Because as we went over last episode, like the whole Clone Wars thing was half the arcs they told us to watch were about him and Satine.
That's
So is it
true.
just
It
like a
might, yeah,
character development thing that she's not even going to come up in this, or is he going to
yeah.
flashback to her? I don't know.
Well, only time will tell. You know, we're not Star Wars theory. We're not gonna we're not gonna do any of that. But I think we should start wrapping this up and get to watching the Jedi Survivor trailer. So thank y'all so much for listening to this weird, unorganized ramble about episodes 1 and 2 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Come back next week to hear more ramblings about episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, see if any of our predictions are right. But as always, I've been Hunter, that's been Ethan, and this has been the Kessel Rundown podcast. May the Force be with you.
See you later, Hunter.
See you, Ethan.